Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Welcome to the RK Clap Podcast, the perfect place to talk about music, art, and the entertainment industry. I'm joined today by Paul and Don. How's everyone doing today?
Big chillin'.
Chilling, man.
Good. We've got to talk about some big stuff today. We got to talk about Donda and as well as Certified Lover Boy. We got a lot to unpack here, so stay tuned, everybody. All right, where to begin? Where would you guys like to start this discussion?
Honestly, that's a great question. There's so much to talk about.
All right, let's see. Do you guys want to cover Donda first, because I feel like there might be a little more to unpack with that one.
So first and foremost, the way that I feel about both in comparison, I feel as though the only reason that they were even talked about, like, you know what I mean, in the same breath like this, is just due to the fact that they were supposed to drop on the same date. You know what I mean? So that creates that competition of which one are you gonna play over the other type of shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I honestly feel like you can't really compare the two, you know what I mean? Just in the sense of Drake being who he is and Kanye being who he is, you know what I mean? And it's like Kanye's he already got so much body of work, you know what I mean? He's already like a Hall of Famer in his own right, like that, you know what I mean? He already has this status about him, you know what I mean? And it's like, for us to, you know, I just feel like people were expecting more of a Marvin's Room versus Graduation or College Dropout or some shit like that, you know what I mean? And that's just not what we got, you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I think the other thing we also should take note of, or people should take note of, is that 9 times out of 10, when these artists are having beef like this, and you're looking for these diss track verses, the album's already completed. So it's not like, you know, the diss track verse that you're looking for is probably not going to be found on the album, just because it's already been recorded, and at the point where this beef starts, they're cleaning up the album. It's being pushed into like the release stage. So like they're like, whatever beef they had, that's between them, not on their albums. You know.
Right.
What do you guys think about the supposed beef for this? It almost feels like the PR teams of both artists are in cahoots, like they both played off each other to gain even more controversy. For me, the biggest thing that has already happened in entertainment that this reminds me of is when the concept of bringing in influencers and social media people into sports. That feels similar to this. It's two different parties that are famous for different reasons. They bring different things to the table, but they're being compared in the same field of play because they're in proximity to each other.
100%. I mean, I agree with you. I think another thing that should be taken into account is that the two type of artists that these individuals are, you know, Kanye versus Drake, you know, like you said, I feel like everyone was expecting another College Dropout or a Graduation or like an 808s or Heartbreak, something on that level. And that's not to say that it wasn't a good album, but I personally feel that it didn't deliver what I was looking for, you know? Yeah. So absolutely, I think a lot of this was just overhype. Yeah. You know, through social media, people.
Yeah, it was just designed to do what they do best, which is make insane amounts of money quickly through viral marketing.
100%. I don't think the two teams were in cahoots.
Oh, we've got a guest. Erica's in the house tonight. No, you're already down here. Come here.
Oh, so sorry.
Special guest tonight. Erica, come say hello.
We'll just edit it all out.
I'm just gonna go that way.
What's up? Could you turn that light off?
This one?
Yes.
When I'm done, yes.
All right.
For sure. But yeah, they were overhyped, bro.
No, 100%. And I think the another thing that kind of irked me about the whole thing was like Kanye staying in stadiums to to work on that. Like whatever his personal reasons
Right.
may have been. Like
Right.
I'm not gonna sit here and assume
Right.
or even begin to like think I know what was going on in his head.
Nobody does.
Right, but to kind of create a pseudo tour out of everything, just it seems like it was all just for the money. Like it would like look how long it took for the album to drop. You know,
Right.
like he started,
And then it got leaked. It
Right.
wasn't even like
then it got leaked. Well, the thing is, like it was art pieces of it were already leaked
Right.
at that point. Like
Right.
you know, like the Donda chant, the original Donda chant was like 1 minute and 40 seconds. It
Right.
wasn't like the 40
Right.
seconds it is. So you know what I'm saying? So like it all seemed like a big ploy just to make money,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So
Facts. I mean, you know, that whole like any publicity is good publicity
Right.
type of thing, and all of that good shit. You know.
100%.
Yeah, his the way that his business seems to be designed is the more abstract and out there it is, like, is the more counterculture it appears to be, the greater it performs.
Yeah. He's just kind of built up this.
Just making money off being different, like the same
Yeah.
thing that Apple tried to do at a point, just being so self,
Innovative,
yeah.
quote unquote. You know what I mean?
reinventing the wheel with everything from
Right.
fashion and music. But
I mean, but that's always been Kanye's thing.
Yeah,
you know?
that's his-
like that.
that's his catch.
It's like how outlandish can I be?
Yeah.
Like how far can I push the envelope
Yeah.
before you know
Yeah.
it's too much?
So if you don't mind, Ian,
Go ahead.
since you two are more of the business, I mean not the business, but the music, you know, more in the music path. What were your thoughts, Ian? First, what were your thoughts on Donda?
From a producer's perspective,
Yeah.
it was perspective. Yeah, immaculate.
Inspector.
It was a work of art.
Yeah.
The transitions, the changes in volume, the keys, the mixing of it. It was. I can tell that a lot of hard work and like the top people in this industry were responsible for putting that out. Like, I had very few comments about anything negative. Just it was incredible.
What about like lyrically?
Lyrically is a different discussion.
Yeah, that's
I would
fine.
say I really don't have a place to talk about the lyrics because myself, I am more on the music end of it and not on the
Production
lyric end.
Yeah.
But I would say that would be up to someone who specializes in lyrics. But there were definitely some parts that if it was a common listener who hasn't been with Kanye and all his changes throughout the
Right.
years, it might seem foreign to them
Right.
if it's something that they're new to.
But to you, it just sounded more so along the lines of just Kanye
It sounded-
now.
I've listened to some of his earlier work, and it sounds like it follows his story arc of how he's grown and gotten huge, and then immediately like changed past completely and abstract, and then everything like with the clothing line, everything just changed, and he's just going further into this story that he's engaged in, and it feels like it's designed to be there. Like this has been planned years in advance, and this is just that stage of the project.
It could be like that. It is Kanye we're talking about.
I mean,
So-
one theory
yeah.
is that with his albums,
Mhm.
is that how many stages of grief are there? 8.
I think so. 5?
There's 5.
Wow.
All right,
I
there's
guess I'm just
5
like,
stages of grief. Thank you.
You're welcome. You can
I-
also Google.
Thanks, Google. But yeah, I mean, so 5 stages of grief
Hold on, give me 1 second.
for sure.
You're right. Grief is in 5 stages.
Yeah.
All right. So, no, sorry. They're saying that there are 7 stages of grief.
Oh,
There's 7 stages of grief. How many albums has he released?
10. This is his 10th.
This is his 10th.
This is his 10th.
So the theory is that since his mom died, that each album is a stage of grief.
Right.
So that this is
like starting
This
now.
would be the 7th. No.
This would be
no,
the
but
7th
since his
mother
died.
Oh, okay,
passed.
okay.
They're
Yeah.
saying that this would be the 7th stage, like the acceptance
Right. For
of.
sure.
They're saying that this would be the theory is that this would be the 7th stage of
Of his grief.
of
His
grief. So
final
like
stage,
yeah, so the acceptance. hence the album being titled his mother's name.
Right.
Hence all the references to his childhood and like his,
Yeah.
all of it.
So same thing, you know what I mean? So how was it to you? How was it for you? Like from a producer standpoint and then, also from a lyrical standpoint. I mean, and then as a project as a whole.
As a project as a
You know
whole.
what I mean? Yeah.
From a production standpoint, it was immaculate. It was clean, it was the way he brought in
level of
yeah, it was a Kanye level of work,
Artistry.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
For
It goes as far as production quality, like it's exactly what you would expect from him.
Right.
Nothing less than things that catch your attention. Random key changes that first feel offensive to the ear, but as you continue to listen, it fits in and it's all cohesive.
Right.
From a lyric standpoint, it definitely left me wanting more.
It was lacking.
It was lacking. Like there were some featured artists that definitely went off on the album. Like they delivered, but I feel like
Who would you say would fall into that category?
I mean, Lil Baby definitely delivered 100%.
He's on a hot streak right now.
Yeah, no, he's on a
Features,
huge wave.
Features
He's a
something
podcast all by himself.
Exactly. I was just gonna say,
Yeah,
honestly.
we're gonna go with the Lil Baby Iceberg.
Yeah.
Just wait.
basically.
Who was it? Lil Yachty. I think Lil Yachty was featured on it.
Mm.
He didn't. I don't think he did too bad, and I'm not actually a huge fan of Lil Yachty.
Right.
But honestly though, Jay-Z's verse, I was like,
I was hoping.
I was like, come on, ho.
Right.
I need that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I need.
How do you feel that stacks up to the Love All verse?
The what?
His Jay-Z's feature on Certified Lover Boy.
I feel like Jay-Z did a better job on that feature than he did Kanye's.
I do
feature,
as well. Yeah.
You know, because it's like Jay-Z and Kanye are just kind of like, you know, like when Kanye first came out, like what Jay-Z was featured on like 40 different things that Kanye did, and Kanye was featured on like every other thing that Jay-Z was doing.
Right.
It's like having the sun directly next to another sun.
Exactly.
yeah.
1 trillion lions versus the sun.
Right.
You know, but like, no, his verse on Donda definitely left me wanting more.
Right.
I was like, okay, why are all these spaces here? Why are you saying like 3 words and then stopping for 10 seconds?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
But like, but from a lyrical standpoint, like I said, some artists delivered, some didn't.
Right.
As far as Kanye's lyrics go, again, it just left me wanting more. You know, because I don't know what I've been on lately, but I've been listening to it forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I want those Kanye verses back. You know what I'm saying? I want that kind of like.
I miss the old Kanye.
You know, and I know people say that all the time, like, "Oh, I miss the old Kanye," but like, no, for real, like,
and they don't, and sometimes they don't. You know, it's a, you know, it hit different. You know what I mean? Like, we're from here. You know what I mean? Like it just used to hit different.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Grew up listening to Kanye West, and now it's like
it feels.
It just kind of seems like he's old and crazy now. Like he's just making.
There's no. You
know, like
it just. Basically. So. You know, I'll ask both of you. You know what I mean? Starting with Ian, what's like out of 10? You know what I mean?
Like overall, like in all categories.
Yeah, overall.
I would put it at a solid. I put it at like a 7.5, because for me at least, no matter what the performance on the lyrics could have been, the musicality was so good that like it could not be lower than a 7, just because of the effort that went into making it so clean.
For sure. Paul?
Mid,
like 5.
I would say like
5.5, 6.
That 6, 7 range. Like Ian said, like the production quality.
It was so good.
Yeah, I think the production quality is really what held that album together in totality.
True.
You know, because again, those there are a lot of verses, a lot of those lyrics were just lacking. Like, you knew what, like, he was conveying everything he wanted to convey. You understood it. You could digest it, listen to it easily. But it was just like, it left you hanging.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, definitely. So basically, you know, same things for CLB. Starting with Paul. Like, what? How did you feel about that one producer standpoint, lyrically, whatever. You know what I mean? How did that album make you feel?
CLB was weird, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna sit here and say that Donda wasn't weird. Like they were both weird. They were
for
both
different reasons.
Yeah, they were both weird for different reasons. This was definitely not what I was expecting of Drake
Right.
at all. I'm not like 100% not gonna lie.
Yeah, no.
I was expecting
We kind
something
of got blindsided by this one.
Yeah.
for real. I
Yeah.
expected something extremely different, especially like the wave that Drake has been on with
Right.
all the different people he's been working with and things like that.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, as far as production quality,
Felt
okay,
very
all right.
nice.
So like, okay, no, we'll talk about this because this one, I think it's the first song on the album. I don't.
Title?
Hold on, I'm about to pull it up because I don't.
Yeah, hold on, I got you, bro.
Give me 1 second. There we go. Champagne Poetry.
Yeah.
Okay. That sample. Have you ever heard a song by Masego called Navajo?
No, look, listen, because I already know, bro. I already know where you're going with this, because I'm just as pissed off as you are.
For real.
I'm just as pissed off as you are.
Could we explain this to the audience who doesn't have
So
the
listen,
backstory?
Okay,
Listen to
so
me. Yeah, go ahead.
Speak your piece,
It's,
bro.
bro, because it's that blew me, bro. That shit blew me. You know what I mean? Because
there was
I'd
no
love to know
variation.
why. I
It
would
was
love to
literally
know
like
why.
he copy and pasted exactly what
Bro.
Masego did.
bro, this
You know,
bro,
like we noticed
because
that.
you know for the promotions of CLB, you know, I don't know if you knew, but like he had a bunch of different billboards up in a bunch of different cities. Like this motherfucker is on this, you know what I mean? Like this person is on CLB, this person is on CLB. You know what I mean? He had one in Chicago, like Smirk is on CLB, talking about Lil Durk and shit like that. You know what I mean? He had one in Memphis saying Masego is on CLB. You know what I mean? So when I saw images like that, I'm like, okay, cool, that's cool. That sounds like a dope little combo. You know what I mean? A Masego, a Drake song featuring Masego.
Oh, bro,
Dope. You know what I mean?
For
Dope,
real,
dope. You
I
would
was-
think that was dope. You know what I mean? The very first song of the album, bro. Like, I'm assuming that is the Masego feature that this motherfucker was
Right,
talking
because
about.
because it's the exact same sample.
It's just
from
his song. He ain't do nothing but just rap over the Navajo beat. Like
100%.
That's not. He did like Masego's not even. He doesn't even have a verse. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like he doesn't even. He's not. It's nothing. There's not. It's just literally him rapping on top of this beat, bro. And it was like, bro.
I'm pretty sure.
He's like, you know who I am. I'm just going over it.
Right,
What are you gonna
exactly.
do? What are you gonna say?
I think that
He like no ceilings did, and it was like, bro. That's not
You
a
have-
feature, bro.
What
You
gives
just-
you the right?
right.
Yeah, like that's like,
And
why
like
would you-
maybe Masego did play the saxophone for that, but
But
like
it's like okay, but
right, but
don't.
you don't copy and paste his exact song.
Yeah,
and
don't act like you got a verse. You know what I mean?
exactly. You know what I'm
Don't act
saying?
like you
Don't
got a
hype it
verse.
up like that.
When you have the arsenal of technicians and musicians at your disposal, you're kind of doing a disservice to your audience not using them to add something to it outside of the verse.
100% because it just
They're there. That's what they're there
man,
for.
bro. Like that song alone. As soon as I heard it, I was so
Yeah, I was furious.
I was-
didn't even
I
really
was-
want to
bro.
listen to the rest of the album.
yeah, 100%.
That bad?
Yeah,
No,
for
yeah,
real.
because
it was like, bro, you already let me down, like
right and
like in the worst way, like
and then it was and then just to add how he came on the track,
right.
it was
like,
just it felt like he just kind of ruined the beat. Like
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
saying
right.
that I'm not saying it was bad, but he just like okay, you're over here vibing to this Masego beat. You're like okay, and then Drake comes on and talk about some like real soft. Like you know, it didn't
wasn't-
deliver. That
yeah.
song definitely didn't deliver.
it
and
just
like,
wasn't it.
Oh, I have a question before we continue on this.
hit me.
For you, from an artist perspective, how do you feel about the obscene amount of money that was paid to that artist to do an emoji pattern with some action on it?
Oh man, I hate it, bro. I mean, like it's cool. Like I'm not hating on the artist per se. You know what I mean? Like whatever.
But both
you know.
album covers, Donda and CLB,
Yeah,
underwhelming.
Yeah, it's album covers like that. That's like, all right, bro. Like, you know, it's like okay, I get the whole simplicity of it, the minimalistic
That's just the period
design
we're in. Like,
standpoint. You know, all that good, that goes into like, you know, fine art these days,
Like-
but it's like, bro, like that, you know, no effort went into that. You know what I mean? You probably
Right.
had a team of people sit in a room and shoot a bunch of
Let's do a grid of pregnant.
yeah,
images.
right,
Put some
yeah.
They were
motion
just
on
like, oh, this is it, like.
millions of dollars.
And it's like, bro,
Right.
where's the creativity in this? And now, you know, you have like social media that's just like blowing it up and backing it so hard. Like,
I think
oh
they
my
knew they
God.
were gonna eat it up. Like he used emojis.
Right,
you
yeah.
know, and it's like, bro, that, you know, it's whack. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it was definitely a marketing ploy because like
Oh, 100%.
they knew as soon as they dropped that album cover that everyone would be like, "What?"
They
is
knew
a-"
we were gonna be out here
Exactly.
talking
They
smack
knew
about
we
it.
were
This
gonna
is
be
the,
on
This
it.
is the result of their plan.
But now because we're talking about it, it's fresh in everyone's mind. So now we're looking for it. So now we're like, okay, underwhelming album cover. Let's look for a fantastic album.
right.
Yeah.
At least.
At
But
least.
nah, it just kind of followed the same trend, and it was like, all right, bro.
There were definitely a few good songs on that album.
Yeah, not like I mean, yeah, definitely, but it wasn't. I mean, to me, you know what I mean. I'm gonna let y'all get back to y'all
Yeah, no, you're good.
opinions on it, but like to me, it was like it just wasn't. It wasn't what Drake was a few years ago. You know
it
what I
wasn't
mean?
a
Like
Drake level album to me.
it wasn't. It was because for a long time, from like what 20.
Ever
from
since
like
One
2010?
Dance, like One Dance.
Yeah.
Or even before that. Yeah,
even
before
before
that,
that.
bro. Like from like
Started from the
like
bottom.
09?
Yeah,
Yeah, from
started-
like 09 to like
Honestly,
2020-ish. He
That was
couldn't
like
do
his,
no
that was like
right.
his J. Cole phase where he was just slamming on
yeah,
everybody.
he just couldn't
Yeah.
do no wrong, bro. Like everything he was dropping, it was
Gold.
fire. It was
Yeah.
fire, bro. It
I
was
mean-
fire. But you know, and that's not even coming from like a Drake fan like that. You know what I
Right.
mean? I just
Yeah.
you
From
know,
anybody, you can't
yeah.
deny it.
Yeah,
you just
it
can't
was
deny
it was just fire. So and then, but as of late, you know what I mean? I mean, I would say like the past couple years, actually. You know what I mean? It's just kind of gotten like,
He knows he already
I
has his
think,
audience, so he's like, he's not fighting for him
Yeah,
anymore.
it
He's
was-
just like, you're gonna love this regardless. Here
Right.
we go.
yeah, I think it's at a point where you know, like you said, he's captivated the world at this point. Like the world is like, oh my God, Drake, you know. But I also think it's partly like when you get to a certain point,
Doesn't matter.
like what else can you say?
right,
You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's running out of things to say,
right.
but like when you get to a
He's kind of
certain
in his Lil Wayne phase.
right,
where-
he's just like, all right, well, I did it all already. I
Right,
don't
right.
really like. I just gotta go. Let me raise a kid real quick.
right or something.
He's
Yeah.
gonna sneeze and someone's gonna offer him another deal.
Exactly. You know.
I mean, yeah. He's set. You know, as a businessman and all of that
100%.
good. You know, he's straight. You know what I mean?
I'm curious to see what his I don't want to say Kanye style diversion, but I feel like there's some sort of big climax and then a huge flip the script moment for Drake coming up. It feels like this is kind of building to it, and I'm curious to see
Honestly,
what
I
that's
think
gonna be.
I think Drake is gonna retire. From
Really?
the music industry. I feel it.
Pretty soon, yeah.
Right,
I
yeah,
feel it
pretty
too.
soon, 'cause,
Yeah.
like,
He's been in it for a while.
I mean, because
yeah, but he's done it all.
right,
There's
you
nothing
know,
He's at like a Michael Jordan.
He had the
LeBron-esque
Nike
phase.
complex rented.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Right.
he's you know what I mean. He's got lifetime deals. You know what I mean. Like
Exactly.
he's gotten like exposure out there. Like there's a whole country,
like you get
People
like
6 generations down from him will never have to work.
bro, ever.
exactly.
So,
you know, and he's at the point where if you get a Drake feature, like you're now instantly famous because
Right.
you have a Drake feature.
and
You know,
he probably won't even like, because you know how it is for musical artists. Like they never really retire.
He's just
Right.
gonna do features
They
and
just-
stop putting albums. out.
Right,
They just-
exactly.
They just slow down, and then all of a sudden, 20 some years later, now we got another a Drake album just coming out, just all just because.
I can't wait to see the greatest hits.
Drake's
Oh, yeah.
greatest hits.
Oh, it's,
When
you
we're
know,
all,
it's
like,
already,
70.
It's
Drake
already,
remastered.
it's already
Yeah.
right.
20th
No,
anniversary.
for real, bro. Hey, Marvin's Room is gonna get
Electromagnetic
that like,
sound
Right.
filter.
Yeah.
yeah, nah, it's gonna get remixed like
No, 100%.
30 times over. But yeah, so what about you, CLB? You know what I mean? What you think?
I enjoyed it for what it was. It felt like it was designed to be like this is going to be played in clubs, in people's cars when they're driving around,
Right.
doing their normal civilian activities, and that's going
Right.
to be like their like think about your fantasy and just like enjoy it. It felt like chocolate for rap fans. like it wasn't designed to be too like poignant and like make you think at all.
Right.
It's just something to like just put you in the state where you're just like, oh yeah, this is tight.
This is tight. Yeah.
Yeah.
You like
It's just like don't think about anything. Just listen to these bars, listen to the beat, and just move to it.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like the album relied heavily on beats. Like, I'm not saying that like he didn't have like good lyrics, but like
the beats made the album.
Yeah, the beats definitely made the album.
Right.
It's like,
Big shout out to the producers on both albums. You guys did your thing.
No, definitely.
No,
Not
100%.
people. Producers don't get enough.
absolutely.
They don't get enough credit for that because a lot of producers made a lot of careers. You know what I mean?
Murder Beats,
bro. Like
we
bro,
could name
Mustard pretty much
made
Tyga.
Big Sean,
Yeah.
Tyga, right?
They just it's like the drummer in a band. It's like the
Yeah,
drummer in a
you know what I
band.
mean?
You make them pop, and then you don't get.
Yeah, you know
Right.
what I mean. So shout out to
Show love to your local producers.
Yeah,
They don't get enough.
definitely.
Buy my beats.
Side note, side question. You know what I mean? Bonus question, rather.
Extra credit.
The off season.
Talk about J. Cole.
Yeah.
Bro, I haven't even answered the questions from CLB yet.
That's how we got on that tangent about the Navajo. But my bad.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep things rolling.
I feel it. No, bro, I have so much to say on Drake just in general.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Get it all out.
I have a love-hate relationship with Drake.
I bet.
Because it's like same type of thing. We grew up listening to Drake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You want him to succeed.
You want him to succeed.
You want him to do great things.
Right.
And then he pisses you off when he just.
It's not even. It's not even about that, bro. It's like I have a love-hate relationship because it's like Drake by himself. And I know people are gonna bash me for saying this, but Drake by himself would be nothing without the team of people that he has behind him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, cool. You were cool as Aubrey Graham, but like if you didn't meet Lil Wayne, if you didn't meet all these people and had all these people backing you
Right.
when you jumped in the industry, and then you kind of were just like, and then built your own team, and then you had these guys back. If you did not have these teams,
Right.
we would not have Drake.
Right.
See,
You feel me?
Yeah.
that's an interesting comment. I feel like couldn't it be said that that's true of every artist that's ever existed? Like they would be nothing without the people that they met and then the places they went with said people.
100%. I'm not gonna disagree with that. Yeah, we could sit here and we could say that about a lot of artists, but like the perspective I'm saying is like, okay,
In
so
this specific instance.
in a specific instance,
Yeah.
right? So with Drake, for example, like how we were talking about, Drake has not missed at all, right?
For
Up
years.
until recently.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. If you go back to, for example, Views, all those like reggaeton beats and things.
Yeah.
All right. If you look at it, that's when guys like all our popular reggaeton artists that we have now, like the J Balvins, the Bad Bunnies, like
Right.
all like
Yeah.
all those people.
Yeah.
That's when they were like
They
becoming global.
Yeah, they was like
Yeah.
sprouting up.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So all Drake ever does, or his people ever do, is like, hey,
Hop on that
observe
new-
the environment.
they
hop
observe
on that
what's
new
up and
shit.
coming.
Yeah.
They do it, and then they keep going.
Yep.
And it kind of like just
It just
make-
sits there. It
Right.
sits there and manifests.
It's like
and
a little
then people-
checkpoint of where the industry is at every time one of the albums drops.
Exactly.
You can see
So,
the
like-
environment.
like as much as we may not like CLB,
Right. That's just where hip-hop
that's
is
where
right
that's
now.
where hip hop is right
Yep.
now, and people don't see
Yep.
like, and that's the unfortunate thing is like, yeah, this is hip hop right now.
Right.
Like we may not see it, but like all the artists coming up right now, let's be real, they don't have a lot to say. They
Yeah.
can't. There's like it's a weird time for music.
Yeah.
So like, I think all of that ties into CLB, which is why I have a love-hate relationship with Drake, because it's like on one hand, fantastic, like
Right.
that him and his team think like that, to continually like always be on top of it, see what's coming up next, be ahead of the trend, things like that. But at the same time, it's like, bro, you're crushing and making it harder for these other artists, because now the average listener is like, oh, Drake set the bar here, when in reality the bar is not
Right.
as high as everyone thinks it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's not me diminishing his skill or anything like that. It's just like,
Right.
I feel like it's overlooked. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. So like, I mean, so again, rate them. You know what I mean? Like, what would you give it out of 10?
High mid, so like a 7.5, maybe 8. Because I would play a couple songs.
Yeah.
There are a couple songs.
Yeah, they kind of slide.
I'm not gonna play Too Sexy though. That's
No.
Maybe while I'm taking a shower.
Yeah, he could have kept that.
He definitely could have kept that.
That was his hotline bling of this one. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's all that was.
I think we're at just a weird point where Drake's like, "Hey, Future, say the weirdest things you possibly can on a track."
That's the driving my kids, or I just dropped the kids off at school / practice / activities.
Yeah.
And you're just driving home, and you're
suburban dad.
Normal life, and then
right.
Future comes on, and you have your little moment in the car.
Right. You
They
feel
look
hard.
at you at the light.
Yeah,
you don't
you
worry
feel
about it.
artist,
Just Drake and Future are singing to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
I mean the yeah.
10 more.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah. What's your rate?
I'm gonna say for pure like reach of audience that'll enjoy that, I'm gonna give that like an 8.5, because I feel like the way the album is designed is you can be any type of hip hop or other music fan if you listen to that. Like there is rock, there is jazz, there is soul, there is R&B.
Yeah, there's a little bit of something for everybody.
There's something for everybody, and for general acceptance, like no one's gonna see most of that album as abstract. It's all like publicly acceptable, like, and I feel like that's gonna give it a little more longevity.
I think really that's what got Drake more streams than Kanye, is that Kanye's album in reality is like, compared to what Kanye has done in the past or what is out now, it's a little abstract for things that he's done. You know,
it's harder for the public to grasp.
Exactly.
Don't know what they're getting into.
Exactly.
It's a little more complicated of an album to digest.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we're gonna look back just like how we did on like beautiful dark twisted fantasy and be like, oh wow, this was a good album.
It's gonna take time for it to sit.
Right.
You know, definitely. But yeah.
You said the off season.
Yeah, the off season. Just
One of the greatest lyricists of our era. Let me just say that right now.
Definitely.
100%. I'm not even gonna argue with that.
Solid.
No, yeah. Bro, whoa.
I loved that documentary that came out talking about the studio session in Atlanta where they had everybody come through. I remember seeing.
Are you talking about the
Kanye and
Dreamville and everything?
Yeah, the Earth Gang Fire session from the King
100%.
episode.
100%.
Yeah, man. Cole doing some dope shit, man.
Like, I even think Cole is at a point where I don't think he's gonna retire, but I think he's definitely gonna slow down.
He's in his like afterglow.
You know, because he said it best. Like if we're being honest, like the artists we listened to growing up, let's be real. Like I'm 25, you're 25.
You're 20-something.
Yeah, you're 20-something. You're 20-something.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like the artists that me and Dominic, because we got to look, it's just a couple more years, not a whole lot. But the artists we grew up with, they're all old now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you know, Kanye is almost 40-something now.
Yeah, Kanye is.
Drake is 30-something.
Kanye the OG now.
You know, Drake is 30-something. Like Cole said it best. He's like the middle child.
Yeah.
Like he came in the industry. He came in the industry older than his peers, but also younger than the people who are already there. Definitely. But he's also around the same age as a lot of them. So like, I think that he's gonna slow down himself, and that's music is in a weird place right now because it's like people don't buy albums, and artists don't. People, first of all, listeners don't have the attention span. They really don't, because if for example, we'll just take Forever because I mentioned it earlier. If I were to play like a 5-minute song for the average person nowadays, they'd be like,
they need to be fired for that shit.
Exactly.
You know
what I'm saying? But even then, they're still gonna be like, "Wow, that song was a little too long." When like, no, that was the average. That was the average song up until like 6 years ago.
No, for facts.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like
the whole industry is being forced to adapt right now to the new standard of attention span, and also what's popular with this new age of instant gratification.
100%, and I feel like it's as content creators, it's getting harder, because the question becomes, how do you captivate an audience continually
when it changes every other day?
You know, when the attention span is so small, and you're right, it changes every other day. Yeah. You know,
I mean, I feel like that was one of those things that Vine prepared us for.
Oh,
You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah.
But
You have
Vine-
7 seconds to make it. Do what you got to do.
You
You're
know?
right, but Vine, even Vine.
It's like the ultimate elevator pitch.
That was the first
You're
one.
right.
You know what I mean? The ultimate elevator pitch. Like hey, boom.
I mean, because the
7
truth is,
seconds.
look at everybody on Vine. Everybody from Vine is like billionaires
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
You know,
roughly.
roughly. There are a few of them that are like
They kind of.
they
Couple
struggle.
of them sold
They,
out.
you know, they living, but they
Yeah.
struggle. You know, they not living.
Right. They, you know, a couple of them had to go get some jobs. for
Right.
real, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, you know.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's gonna be weird, you know, as different as, you know, the Drakes and the Kanyes, and those artists just kind of phase out of the industry, you know, because it's like I said, it's like where do you go from here,
Right.
you know?
You just usher in the newest version of you.
right
At a point, like it's inevitable. There's gonna be another. I'm not gonna say another Drake and another Kanye, but another artist of their level who's in his teens right now, who someone else is gonna be talking about in a couple years, and then that will be like the Nas like classic hip hop figure will be them.
right.
Once this cycle repeats.
Honestly,
itself in a
let's
couple
talk
years.
about Nas for a second because, like, let's be real. Nas in his time period was great, but he never really got the recognition he deserved.
Never.
And then
Nas-
recently, he just came out with the
He
album,
definitely.
and like I've noticed it over like the last year or two.
Mhm.
He's been snaking his way back in the
Yeah,
industry.
this is like his
Heavily.
third like album like in like 3 years.
Exactly, and like he's going crazy.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting too because now you have OGs.
It's cool to see that he's not done. He's kind of like he's just holding out. Everybody else has kind of moved on and settled down. He's just nope, I'm not done yet. I haven't finished what I came here to do.
Nas is Nas is the blueprint Cole. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean,
the,
yeah.
When you know they kind of fit in that same career type of you know how the career is shaping out. You know,
Right.
great lyricists. You know what I mean? That just get overshadowed by more streams.
Right.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and that just be it. Like, cause they nobody fucking with Nas back then like that. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it was a few people, but real life it was like, bro, Nas is just different. Like
Right.
he's just he really coming different if you really listen to him.
I
You
mean,
know what
yeah, New York in general back then was like
Oh yeah, they damn near had it.
they
Whole separate entity
Right,
as
they
far
were-
as music history goes.
Oh, 100%. Like, we could sit here, we could talk for hours.
That
about,
could be a
like,
series.
Like, you know, I personally, from that era, my favorite artist is Eric B. I'm sorry, no, Rakim. Because you know the album was always like Eric B and Rakim.
Right,
so I'm
right,
like,
right.
you know, it's Rakim.
Right, I'm like, yeah.
Because, like, I watched a couple interviews, and, like, even some of the OGs were like, yeah, that's one guy you don't want to go against.
Yeah,
Like,
no, Rakim was
Rakim,
crazy.
like, even nowadays, like, I watched him do a freestyle, and that man went off. And I'm like, we need that back.
Right.
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
No, for real. You know what I'm saying? That's why I appreciated the off season.
No, 100%. Like, just straight lyrics is an
bro,
album.
That's in the
just
9 to
going
9.5 for me.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Definitely. Like,
Music crazy, lyrics crazy.
bro, and it was like the different forms of rap that he was doing on every track. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
it was like the versatility was crazy. It was like, damn, bro.
I feel like that in itself speaks volumes to artistry in general because, like, nowadays, and this is not me coming at modern rappers or
Right.
anything, but it's
Right.
like so many of these rappers don't have that versatility.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
what the average listener thinks his versatility is, they change the beat, but he has the same flow.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like just because you can do the same flow a little slower,
Right.
doesn't mean you're versatile.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like that's something that just real art. I feel like real artistry is being overlooked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That reminds me of something I was thinking about the other day. I feel like one of the biggest catalysts to this huge change in the industry is right now the barrier of entry to becoming famous in any way, shape, or form has changed dramatically with the help of social media and being viral. It's never been easier to get to a point of popularity just by posting small videos on the internet. I feel like that's going to be a catalyst to most of the change we see in the next 10 to 15 years of the industry.
You're 100% right. I'm interested to see like what happens if, for example, the next generation, like when we have kids, is like, yeah, we don't rock with social media.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
That,
the whole
you know,
counter social media movement,
exactly.
throw the phones out. I can't wait for that.
Right.
That's
We
gonna
go
be
back to OG flip phones, brick Nokias.
full circle.
Could you imagine? No,
Pagers?
I mean, probably not that.
Right. I'm like, I mean,
because of technology. But you get what I'm saying? Like,
right.
they're gonna be like, yeah, Instagram is not cool.
Right.
Like,
I mean, it might, you know,
All the data's going to come
I
out
feel
about
like-
what it does to mental
I mean, I don't know. I don't know where that is gonna go.
Yeah, I don't know
That's,
where-
That's cool. It's cool to think about and speculate. You know what I mean? But realistically, just
Social
the way
media is
that
not
kids,
going anywhere.
yeah, just the way
No.
that kids are growing up and they're becoming more tech savvy. You know what I mean? Like
in a
kids are
dangerous,
playing with just
in a
iPads and
dangerous
stuff like
way.
that.
It's like
Yeah.
they're becoming reliant
Bro,
on the
like,
technology.
yeah, you know what I mean. But you know, on a more positive note, the how advanced they are. You know what I mean? As
Right.
far as like
Humans are developing faster than
yeah, you feel me?
100%.
Like
I
you
mean,
know,
I'm still reading the
my-
Farmer's Almanac.
bro, bro, my you know what I mean?
It's
I
a
have
classic,
my
man,
my 1-year-old nephew, like he bro, he like came out the womb.
Holding an
Couple of
iPad.
yeah, bro, basically couple months. You know what I mean? Couple months go by, he's sitting up. Couple more months, he crawling. 2 more months, he walking. It was like, bro, you ain't even aged yet. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you ain't even, you know what I mean? You ain't even took a full circle around the sun yet. You know what I mean?
Full
Yeah.
circle
You,
around
you
the
already passed. You know what I mean? Like you finna run. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's like just those little things. You know what I mean? And just seeing how intelligent he is and how quickly he can pick up on things and how, you know, in our family, we're tinkerers, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? We're handsy people. We do
Right.
things with our hands and stuff like that, and it shows in this little boy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I can see him pick up things and analyze
He's the
them.
prodigy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He like looking for ways to do stuff. You know what I mean? He want to know how it works. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's interesting. You know what I mean? It's gonna be interesting to see the world in the next 20 years. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be fucking crazy. You know?
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be fucking crazy.
absolutely.
Do either of you guys have any final remarks on either of the albums before we end this one for today?
Man, them bitches was whack.
I mean, I'll say this. I'll say this. Like, listen, don't judge the albums based on our opinions. You know, these are simply our opinions. Go listen, formulate your own. You know what I mean? Like,
Definitely.
what we're saying doesn't mean like, oh nope, don't listen to it. You know, it was terrible. Like, if you think it's great, that's cool. You think it's great. You know, and us saying our opinions is not in any way, shape, or form saying that we don't respect the artist's hustle or their grind or their abilities at all. You know, we're not trying to diminish that fact because, frankly, they're rich and
Right. I mean, yeah,
we're
right,
not
it don't,
right
right,
now.
It don't matter.
You know?
It don't matter at the end of the day, but
Right.
shit, still, our opinions are our
right.
opinions.
Our opinions are our opinions. So go out there, formulate your own. Still listen to it. Absolutely, still listen to it. Still consume it. Still enjoy it. You know.
That's all we ask, is that you listen to the music and then you enjoy it, and we hope you were entertained by our wacky opinions of these two albums from a producer and an artist standpoint. Do you have anything you'd like to add, Don?
I mean, I just want to tell the people, you know what I mean, like I said, you know, formulate y'all own opinions, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, that's all we really got, you know what I mean, like, you know, you think about certain things, you know what I mean, come up with your own takeaways, you know what I mean, come up
Yeah.
with your own takeaways from certain situations and certain albums, music pieces, musical, artistic pieces, whatever the case may be, you know what I mean, and you know, just try to grow from any and everything, basically, you know what I mean,
100%.
It's a good anecdote. I like that one.
for sure.
All right. I believe that's all the time we have for tonight. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in and listening. This is Paul Dondian signing out. Have a good night, everybody.
Catch you on the flip
Peace.
side, boy.